Hello, I'm Mitra Sorrells in the PhocusWire studio, and I am joined by Mike Putman. He is founder and CEO of Custom Travel Solutions. Welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So I know that you have made the argument that GDS-centric distribution is quietly collapsing and that the next generation of travel companies will be built on direct supplier APIs. Let's talk more about that, why you think that's true and the opportunities it creates.
Yeah, so I think the ways of the GDS distribution as the totality is going away. They're more efficient mechanisms to pass the data without all the technology debt of years gone by.
Yeah, technology debt is certainly something we've been hearing quite a lot about for sure. There have been a lot of AI travel agent demos also this year, and you have pointed out that many of them have really hit a wall at the booking step. So tell me a bit more about why you think that is and what is really missing there.
So it's really a complicated last 5 yards of the transaction to get there. There's a lot of data security issues, and things are evolving. It's going to get easier. It's going to get better. But currently, there's only a few of us that have kind of reached this, getting it over the goal line of allowing a booking to not only to be searchable and for the pricing to be relevant and using real live data, but actually to get somebody all the way through the booking.
So, but you see potentially the industry more broadly kind of moving in that direction?
Yeah, I think so. And it's not so much that a lack of desire by the industry. There's a lot of privacy protocols that are in place that are blocking some things, and there's some technology gains that are yet to be there to make it kind of mass broadly adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about, we certainly constantly hear about new players wanting to sell travel. It seems like everybody wants to get into the travel selling business. You've been in it a long time. Fintechs, loyalty programs, super apps, they're all things we're hearing a lot about. They want it kind of as a revenue line without necessarily becoming a travel company. So from your view, where is that model really working already today? And what does a brand need to keep in mind if they're trying to build toward that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think there's a lot of opportunities for neobanks, fintechs, and to utilize and leverage travel as loyalty. We've seen what the big banks in the U.S. or global banks have done with their investments. I think Chase invested $2.1 billion in building a travel platform. And a lot of that is available quicker, easier to scale for the neobanks. Our company does that quite a bit. But it really binds the customer to the bank and to the app by allowing them to leverage their buying for points or discounts or whatever they're trying to achieve.
And how about your thoughts related to innovation? It's certainly something that we're hearing a lot about now with everything developing with AI. Everybody's trying to talk about moving forward, getting rid of some of that technical debt. In your opinion, what parts of the travel stack should startups or even mid-market OTAs stop building in-house? And where does in-house investment still pay off? I mean, how are those decisions, how should they be made?
Yeah, so there are certain elements, in my opinion, that take quite a bit of time, quite a bit of capital to create. And some of those things are like commercial relationships with suppliers. So startups have a really hard time getting commercial relationships with larger OTAs, bed banks, and not only getting those, but once you get them, having a layer of aggregation and logic that sits on top of that. That can be really expensive to build, and it can really bog down the startup. And somebody even mentioned this yesterday as a concept, is that a lot of startups end up doing that and they run out of cash before they can even get something launched. So there are companies out there that aggregate that type of data, already have that commercial relationship, and it's a way for startups to begin. And then over time, if they decide it makes more sense for them to go back to the OTAs or bed banks or to get their own commercial relationships, they can do that and even build the technology themselves. But it's a way for, I think startups to Series A companies, there's an opportunity to like leapfrog a bunch of steps to get going.
Okay. So, we've kind of discussed a few key points that you've made in the course of these last couple of minutes. We started off with this idea of GDS-centric distribution starting to quietly collapse, the fact that agentic bookings are potentially, not able to get across that booking step as easily just yet. The idea of these super apps and fintech and loyalty programs becoming more common, and then just talking about innovation. So as we think about this thesis that you're kind of laying out here, who loses or who wins in that environment? And which incumbents do you really see as maybe the most exposed over the next 5 years or so?
Yeah, so things are really changing, and what's happening is the AI distribution is giving startups and tech companies an edge into the marketplace more so than they have been in the past. So the big brands who've been able to dominate the marketing, the main marketing channels, are now going to have to reinvent themselves to some degree to remain competitive. And I think their market share is going to erode over time, which represents an opportunity for startups and smaller brands to provide solutions that are a lot more adaptable to AI and the way the LLM search, to provide a newfound way to bring in business.
So will things look a lot different in 5 years, you think?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. I would be very remiss to say that things aren't going to change substantially. I don't think companies are going to go out of business. I don't think there's going to be massive layoffs. I don't think travel agents are going away. I think there'll be erosion from one sector to another, but I think you will see some definite shifts, especially market share.
Okay, well, we will stay in touch and maybe watch all of this develop together. So Mike Putman from Custom Travel Solutions, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.